Hello, everyone. Welcome back, Sipping Streams Tea Tribe, to the last day of the 5-day Tea Transformational Challenge. So, we have so far gone over four intense days of learning about the 6 components that can help us radically change our lives. We have gone over the health benefits of tea, how tea is good for you, how tea is financially inexpensive, especially the better quality teas. We talked about different things that help us overcome our personal barriers. We have talked about community and how it is important to surround ourselves with people that we want to be like, people who would encourage us, people who help us to grow to know who we are. And I just want to say hi to Anna, I want to say hi to Mackenzie. Thank you all for joining me. And today we have a special friend from the UK, Anna Lundberg, and she has a personal story about how her life was radically changed. And I'm going to bring her on here in just a moment. And so she's going to share her personal story, her own testimony about how traveling and new adventures and experiences completely changed her outlook on life and actually changed her career. So and then I want to say hi to Heather, and we will be doing a drawing in a little bit. So I'm going to try to bring Anna on right now. Be added on here. Right now she's in the UK and it's 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. at night there, and so it's really nice to be able to join us. How's it going, Anna?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So does everything sound okay?
To me it does. I hope it does to everybody watching. It's great if they can confirm it.
Okay. So Anna, introduce to everyone who you are and what your business is and how you started your business.
Sure. Well, that's a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. My name's Anna Lundberg, and as you can hear, I'm it's 9 o'clock this evening, so glad I was able to join you. I worked in a marketing job in a corporate company in 2013, and something happened. I think I'd been stepping into my comfort zone. And
do you have any earbuds?
Hang on a second.
And she is speaking all the way from the other side of the world. So maybe that's why there's some buzzing in the background.
All right. Is this better?
Oh, yes, much better.
Oh, good. Okay. Never quite understand technology issues because Wi-Fi should be good and so on. But anyway, yeah, so I was saying, sorry, Mackenzie, hopefully the audio is better now with the headphones. Do let me know if there's still a problem. But yeah, I was sort of in my comfort zone. I had some amazing friends and I had a good job, but there was something just missing a little bit. And so I actually started off by asking my boss to take a sabbatical. I got 3 months off to travel across South America, and halfway through that I quit. And that was in 2013. So it's sort of 5-6 years since then. And there've been some twists and turns. Oh, I just spun the camera around. This is going well, isn't it? I'll try to sit still. I'm getting too excited. You saw my desk area over there. We are real people. This is what happens online. Good. Mackenzie's saying the audio works. That's good. Thanks. But let me know if you can't hear me. But it's been an evolution. I mean, it's taken time to sort of. I went through some marketing consulting, and then I went through what I like to call my hippie phase when I sort of traveled a lot and wasn't earning a lot of money, and now I found a really nice balance. So my company's one step outside, and it comes from the quote, everything you've ever wanted is one step outside your comfort zone. And I'm a coach essentially, so I now combine my marketing and business branding experience with the newer skills of coaching, writing, presenting and so on that I've developed. And I help people leave the corporate 9-to-5 just like I did and set up a sustainable business that's going to give them all the freedom, flexibility, fulfillment, as I like to call it, that everyone wants to have in their life. So as you said, travel's been sort of a big part of that journey really, and we can talk more about that in a second.
Yeah, and you have a podcast, and that's actually how I learned about your story was your new podcast that you have. Could you want to tell everyone a little bit about your podcast and what it's called?
Yeah, I'd love to, and I'm really happy to hear that you listened and that's how you found out about it. So hopefully other people will do the same. So it's called Reimagining Success with Anna Lundberg. I just started it just before the end of last year, so very fresh. I think we're on to episode 9 or so at the moment. But it's really the broader idea of, as I call it, redefining what success looks like for you. So for me, I guess I was on that conveyor belt towards corporate success, promotions, salary increases, and so on. Personally, I was single and everyone around me seemed to be marrying and having children, so maybe that aspect of success wasn't quite there. And then I took that time away and I just began to question some of those things. So do I really want to become, a senior vice president in this company? Do I want to be doing this kind of work? Do I want to stay here, living here? Do I want to be single the rest of my life and all those things? So for me, there was a personal journey of discovering what I really wanted to do in my career, but also very much in my life and exploring, I guess, via doing all sorts of things over the last few years. But that's what I'm trying to share in the podcast. So reimagining success, encouraging you to forget about all those shoulds and what other people think, or maybe what you think other people want you to do. We've got so much pressure on ourselves as business people, career, professionals, mothers, fathers, sisters, daughters, and so on. And I think it's so important to get back to what's important to us and then try to work towards those goals. So that's what I'm hoping to do, inspire people and also give some really practical tips and strategies for how you can begin to maybe question some things in your life, but also sort of get closer to what's important to you.
Yeah, when I was kind of developing this 5-day challenge, I really wanted it to be a parallel of how I created my company, that it wasn't just, tea is the medium for my business. Obviously, it's a tea company, but really it had to do with like personal development, personal discovery. And as I was coming up with this challenge, I was like, man, I need something that kind of encourages me too. And so I was looking through the podcast, and that's how I discovered yours.
Yay.
We were talking the very first day about what are things that we want to learn or experience. And so I was starting to surround myself with like, okay, how do I learn more about like personal development, something that was for the business professionals. And so that was one of the things I decided to add on to my list of podcasts that I listened to is yours, just to have some encouragement and different insights and perspective that I might not be aware of. And I might not put everything into play that you do or that you encourage us to do, but like we don't know what we don't know. So we need to just start surrounding ourselves with new experiences and new knowledge and education. And that's why reading is so important, or listening to audio like podcasts is so important. And you said when you traveled, you had gone through some programs, like you had gone on some like retreats or something like that. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so actually before that, so what did I say? That was 2013. So going back to 2010, actually, I'd signed up to a creative writing course in Greece. So that was probably the start of my adventurous life in a way, because it was an organized trip. It was 2 weeks. But it was creative writing, but then there were other people on there who were doing sailing and kayaking. There were actually some single middle-aged women who were looking for love, who were looking to sort of reframe that. We did a lot of sort of the personal sharing of our stories and almost therapy in a way. And I just loved that. It was the most magical experience of being by myself with these incredibly supportive and empathetic people and learning a lot. So that was 2010. 2012, my friend and I went across Central America for 2 weeks. And that was my first sort of really adventurous trip, I guess. I barely spoke Spanish. She spoke
Like
even
baby
less.
steps.
Yes, baby steps. Well, that's again my brand, right? One step. You don't have to take a massive leap. I mean, some of these felt bigger than others. But yes, that was an unorganized trip in Central America and South America. And then I've also been on some trips. One of my favorites maybe was going canoeing down the Mississippi in the US. So we flew into Memphis, which was amazing. Obviously, very different culture to England. And we were in a group, and again, I was really there for that travel experience, but we also sat together, we did some workshops, we journaled, and we discussed different aspects, actually both about business and about more personal coaching things, I suppose. And yes, I've done so many others that I won't sort of bore you all with, but it's just been an incredible thing because, of course, you're outside of your usual environment. You're in a new place, you're seeing beautiful things, you're meeting interesting people, and you have the time and space to really think about all those things that you maybe don't have time to think about when you're in your day-to-day routine at home. So incredible experiences over the last few years.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for Anna? Like, feel free to write them down below about her travel experiences and how that transformed her life. Or, maybe we can later on put down, in the comments, the name of your podcast and the name of your business. So if anyone's interested in, more of what you have to offer, they can definitely reach out to you. Even though you're in the UK, but we have people listening in Canada. I'm sure anyone all over the world can listen to Facebook pretty much.
Absolutely. If
Yeah.
anyone has any questions watching the replay as well, I'm happy to chime in as well. So I'll be checking in
Yeah,
the next few
yeah,
days.
definitely. So, as you know, Anna, we're doing a tea immersion program and a transformation retreat where we'll be able to touch on a little of each of those things while we're being incorporated into the everyday life in India. Even though it'll be a tour, it's not necessarily like a mass tour where you're getting on a cruise ship and then you're going on some big bus. It'll be a small, intimate group. And tell us a little bit about the relationships that you had developed when you went traveling with your friends or when you went out to that writing retreat or something like that. How was that important to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, interestingly, I didn't go with friends on many of these trips. And I think, oh, another one, by the way, was a bit more adventurous. We went dog sledding in the Arctic Circle in Sweden. That was amazing. And unusually, I think everybody on that trip was alone. So often you have couples and friends going traveling and so on, but, we were all alone. And I think, again, that allows you to be whoever you want to be. So, not necessarily to pretend to be someone you're not, but it's just nice to strip away all that stuff from at home. Like, they don't know that you're necessarily, a mother or divorced or sad about this or successful in that or whatever. You can
Yeah.
just be yourself. And I love as well, the combination of learning something about tea, for example, and then being in a different culture and then meeting those incredible people. So I think my favorite thing about the South America trip, for example, being away for 3 months, was all those people that I met along the way. People I never would have met, people from I'd taken 3 months out of my job, but some of those people had quit their jobs. They were traveling indefinitely. They were on a 2-year trip with their husband and so on. So, it's just good to meet other people who are just doing completely different things. I'm just seeing a
Yeah.
question here from
Yes.
Heather asking, what's the favorite place? And it's such a good question. I've been to a few of the places I wanted to go. So I think for some reason, Hawaii was always on my dream list. My
We're going to be
granddad
going
always
to
wanted
Hawaii in
to.
the future.
Okay, I might join you.
Just
So
letting you know.
my granddad always wanted to go to Hawaii and he never did, unfortunately. And for me, that was always some kind of magical place. Another one was Machu Picchu in Peru. For whatever reason, it was on my bucket list. I don't know if anyone's seen the film Up, the Pixar Up. The first 5 minutes
Yes.
when the old couple just makes me cry every time. But they always said adventure is out there, and he flew to South America. So that was, on my kind of vision board. And actually doing the Inca Trail and getting to the Machu Picchu ruins, even though it's quite a cliche now. I've seen that picture with so many, other people on Facebook, but it was such a magical experience. So those are a couple of my favourites. At the moment, I must admit that I've literally just bought a flat here in London. I've fallen in love with an Englishman, so I'm now a little bit more tied to being more local. But we're actually heading off to South Africa next week, where I haven't been before, so I'm excited about that too. So hopefully
Ooh, drink some
there'll
nice
be,
rooibos
one or
there.
two nice trips every year. Yeah, I will do. So
So,
thanks for the
yeah,
question.
yeah. So thanks, Heather. Were there any other questions that anyone had for Anna? So Christina said, "Hi, Jenny. Couldn't find the video at first." Oh, good. Thanks for joining us, and thanks, Anne, for joining us. So, if there aren't any more questions, or you think of any other questions during the replay, definitely put them down and tag Anna, and she would love to answer your questions about what she does, about her travel experiences. But we'll let her go for now so we can get on to our final day, day 5 of our challenge, and do our drawing too. So thanks, Anna,
Great.
for joining
Thanks,
us.
Jenny. Thank you everyone for watching, and good luck with the challenge this week. Hopefully see you soon.
Okay, thank you. So, for those of you who have the handout, which this time I put the right one on the email and I had it posted already on the Facebook units section. So it is day 5. So reflection, events plus reflection equals outcome. So if you can see that. So a little bit about Anna is that I had known about her a little bit through another business networking group, but I didn't actually realize that she had a podcast. And while I was looking for encouraging, inspirational, like reimagining, success, well, as a business professional, and even though you guys think I have such creative ideas, I sometimes have a hard time being stuck and not knowing what to do and how to meet your guys' needs. And so, also with that, with so much giving, as you know, the more you give, the more you sometimes feel drained, and so you need to be filled with something, filled with encouragement, motivation, and things like that. And as a business professional, being out there in so many different places, online, throughout Alaska, doing a tea tour, I just needed something. And I happened to see her podcast. I didn't realize she had a podcast, and so I started listening to it. And I'm like, wow, that's exactly what I want to share with you guys. How important stepping outside of your box is. And so I want to just invite you to sign up for a consultation, or to, if you already know you want to go, to talk about joining me for the April 15 to 26. It's a 12-day tea immersion and transformation retreat that's very unique, that is not offered anywhere else in the world like that, where it actually helps you with personal development and growth, and then also where you have time to be immersed in the culture and the history of another place, meet new friends, develop new relationships, see perspectives from a different view, a different lens, be submerged and away from the stresses of your regular job or whatever it is, or home life, and you get to just be you, and you kind of have a nice reset space, but where you can work on your personal goals, and that when you come back to home, to wherever you live in Canada, in the UK, or wherever you want to meet, because you're just going to fly into Calcutta and meet us there, that you can also take what you have learned and your new set of lenses and apply them to your everyday life. And that is what is so powerful about stepping outside of your box. And it just takes one step at a time. So if you're interested, definitely PM me, DM me, or check out the link. And we do have payment plans too. So for those of you who are concerned about being able to pay all of it up front, we do have payment plans available. So definitely let me know. So let's see. Heather said, nice, never thought of going to Peru. I would like to go to Hawaii, England, Ireland, Scotland, and I'm guessing she said Wales. So this is our first year offering this program, and in the future, other tea producing places that we're interested in taking you would be China, Japan, and Hawaii. So we don't know exactly when they're going to be, when in the future this is going to happen, but this was our first opportunity because we work directly with these tea producers. In fact, it's really funny that Anna said she went on this tour, on a dog sled tour, because that is how I got Shalini to come up to Alaska to the first place. So we have been buying their families teas for quite a while now, and we have won a couple international awards just by entering their teas that we thought were absolutely amazing into the North American Tea Championships. And with that, after we won these awards, I was like, you know what? I know one of your teas is absolutely amazing. I'm going to blend it into the Yukon Quest's official tea. So I custom designed a tea for them that was extremely high in caffeine. It didn't get messed up when you over steeped it, which is great. It never got bitter. It was naturally sweet. You didn't have to add any milk or sugar to it. It's foolproof. You didn't get an upset stomach. It was low in acid and tannin, so you didn't get any shakes or none of the side effects that you get with coffee, but it had as much caffeine as 3 to 4 cups of coffee. In fact, that's why they decided that I should put the warning label, 1 cup is enough. So that tea, I use a lot of the tea estate that we're going to visit in Assam. So that Shalini's family's tea estate. And she was like, wow, you use tea for a dog sled race? What's dog mushing? So I said, why don't you come up to Alaska and visit me? So she got to live with me for a week and experience all the sights and all the wonderful things that makes Alaska, especially Fairbanks, Alaska, very unique. And so I thought, hey, Shalini, let's partner on something where we get to visit the places you grew up and the things that make you special, and let's bring my customers. So this is the first time either of us have partnered in something like this, and it is going to be an amazing time. We had 10 spots open, and we only have 9 spots left. We already have someone who has signed up. So if you have any questions at all, let me know, and definitely ask about the payment plans that we have. So on to the final day, reflection. Okay, on your sheet, you have this week's reflections on how well you did. And in my book, I talk about E plus R equals O, which is a saying that I had learned from Kent Julian, who is a motivational speaker. I learned about it a couple years ago. And he says, the event plus our reaction equals our outcome. But in my book, I kind of put my own spin to it, where sometimes it's not always our immediate reaction, but it's our reflection that helps us look into and dive deeper into what we want to do to choose to have a certain outcome. Like we might not be able to, you know, choose or be in control of the event. For example, if we have cancer, that is not necessarily something that we can choose to not have anymore because it has already happened. The event has already happened. But if we reflect on the gratitude and the certain situation of what we can do and our attitude and our spirit and who we surround ourselves with and what lifestyle choices we choose to do after we have found out that we have cancer, then that will equal the outcome. That significant impact of our personal reflection or reaction is what's going to choose the final outcome. So, from 1 to 10, how do you feel about this past week? That's the first question. 1 to 10. Just write down the number. Did you do well? Yes, it was a 10. It was successful. I was able to do all my time blocks, which were my 3 goals. I was able to hit my 3 goals in baby steps. Or like 2, like, oh man, I didn't do any of it. I tried to, I printed out the sheet or something like that. Then the next one is, what is the most memorable part of the past week, and describe it. So go ahead and take a moment to do that. And I'm getting your guys' entries ready for the people who had the bonus question for the book. And then, what are the 3 biggest lessons you learned this past week? What did you get out of this past week's challenge? Just 3. Super easy. Then the next one, the bottom on that page, review your organization for this past week. Are you happy with how you spent your time? If not, what steps can you take this next month to improve it or to adjust it? Or even this next week, what actionable steps are you going to do to help you improve your 3 baby steps, your 3 time blocks of organization of meeting your goals? And then the next page, I'll give you a moment to write down how you felt about this organization of this past week. Oh no, I'm frozen. Okay, I'm going to keep going and I'll repost this later. Then the next one is, how are you different between this past week and the week before it? And what are you especially grateful for this past week? And then name 3 things you can improve on this coming month. What are concrete actions you can take to work towards these improvements? So on the last page is, how are you different between this past week and the week before it? What are you especially grateful for? What and who are you especially grateful for this past week? So some gratitude. And name 3 things you can improve on this coming month. What are some concrete action steps you can take to work towards these improvements? So hopefully you've printed off this page, whether it's in the units page or it's in your homework, which was emailed to you. And I would love to hear any feedback of what you think. Mackenzie, if you could put out a poll of what people thought about this week's 5-day transformational tea challenge, that'd be awesome. And we can post it in the Tea Tribe group later on. And so we would really love to hear your feedback of what you thought. Okay, now moving on. We had a question about the book. So there was a bonus question yesterday about who was the person who started the original tea time. And that was Catherine of Braganza. So Catherine of Braganza was a Portuguese princess who was married to King Charles, I forgot which one, I always have to look at the number of it. And she was so bored that she started having little snacks because of her Portuguese heritage of little, essentially tapas, tiny little sandwiches and treats and desserts and things like that. And so after that had become so popular with her friends and having these little snacks in between meals, that's when it got really popular and other people started to do it in different social classes where they would take this little tea time break and have all these little snacks. And now then you have moved into Victorian tea, and then you have all these tiers, and some people call it high tea, but technically high tea actually means the time of day. So that means like dinner time. So that's why at Sipping Streams we call it afternoon tea, because it is the time of day, even though it's Victorian style or this English style, or I guess you can kind of call it Portuguese style, Portuguese influence. But even in Hong Kong, we have a tea time and we call it dim sum. So that's when we have our Asian steamed dumplings, which we make at the tea house, and that's why we have those little egg tarts, and like they'll have little pork and shrimp little wonton wrapper things. And so it's called dim sum, which dim sum means little part of the heart. And that's when we have our tea time in the afternoon. It's kind of like brunch, so you could have it after breakfast and before lunch, or you can have it after lunch before dinner time. So, and we just call it tea time essentially. It's like, are you going to yum cha? Yum cha means drink tea. Are you going to drink tea? So we would go to yum cha and have dim sum. So that's a little bit about tea time in Hong Kong, and that was actually also influenced by the Portuguese, and that's why it's very big in Southeast China, where Hong Kong is, because of the influence of the trading that happened over there. So for those of you who entered your answer for listening to the video yesterday, I'm doing a drawing for those, and a lot of you entered it too. Okay, so, and the person who wins is actually getting a pretty big prize, because I know you guys have been like following along. The person who won is Jen Cooper. Hey, Jen Cooper. Jennifer Cooper. She's watching right now. So you just won yourself a whole kombucha kit on how to make kombucha. So we teach 3 different classes at Sipping Streams and online. And for those of you who are in the challenge this week, we're having a special discounted price where we're having our Essence of Tea class, which is our flagship class, our main class. The Essence of Tea, which is all about the history of tea, how to professionally evaluate tea, the different components, the health benefits, the tea ceremony, all the different cultures and how they prepare tea with different vessels. And so that class and the kombucha culture class, which is all about learning how to make kombucha, and that has like your kit with your thermometer and your tea and your SCOBY. For those of you who have no idea what kombucha is, you have like this live SCOBY. This will be very interesting for you and your daughter, Jen. And then you learn how to make kombucha in the class. So Jen won the kit. Now you're gonna have to take the class and learn how to make kombucha. And then we have a Matcha Madness course, which is all about making matcha, but we have 5 different grades of matcha. So you'll be learning how to evaluate all the different grades of matcha and the recipes that come with matcha too. So not just the traditional Japanese tea ceremony way, which I have like the bowl, the chashaku, and the whisk. You'll be learning how to do the tea for the Japanese tea ceremony, but you won't be actually doing the whole tea ceremony for the Matcha Madness course. So we offer 3 courses. We have kombucha culture, which Jen just won a kombucha kit, not the class, which is probably valued at like $60. Then we had somebody else win the matcha, but we also offer a matcha class called Matcha Madness, which you can take online, and we ship you all your supplies for all 3 classes. Or there's the Essence of Tea. Now, normally all 3 of those classes, each of them are $250, and they're like a month-long course. But we are also offering it discounted for you in the Tea Tribe for half off, so it's only $125. And then that expires, so you need to go and check it out now if you want to get it on our website at sippingstreams.com under University. And so look under University, and all 3 classes are half off right now till Tuesday, January 22nd. So that's next Tuesday. And we are offering an in-person class. So anyone who is here who is in Fairbanks also and wants to take the tea course from me in person, it's a 2-day in-depth workshop with me. And that class is the same price, $125 instead of $250 for everyone else. And you can take it with me this coming Friday evening and Saturday morning. So it's a 2-day class because it's a lot of information to learn for the workshop, and you get all your supplies. So our online classes and our in-person class all include the supplies, whether it's the teas that you need or the scales or the accoutrements, tea accessories, whatever it is that you need other than hot water, which if you're taking it with me in person, then we have hot water for you. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about tea and want to join me for the tea immersion and transformation retreat, definitely get on my schedule right now to give me so we can be on a phone call and talk about it and maybe get you on a payment plan. Or if you know anybody who's interested, definitely share it out with them. Let them know we're doing it. It's already in on our events in the group or the Sipping Streams business page. And for those of you in the challenge, we are giving you a special discount off of your tour. So it is $150 off of your tour package if you leave your deposit by this Tuesday. So if you leave your deposit for the trip by this Tuesday, we'll take $150 off of your tour package. And don't forget, you can do a payment plan with us too. So if there's any questions at all, write them down below. I know there's a bunch of tea questions here, and we'll be going live tomorrow also to answer more of your questions, and we'll be going live the next day also, because tomorrow's drawing, you don't want to miss it. Tomorrow's drawing is on our mindfulness bonus drawing. So all of you who have entered your mindfulness observations or notes or a picture on Instagram or Facebook and hashtagged us transforming me or hashtag sipping streams, that I could see it. Also, some of you are traveling, and so you couldn't send that on Facebook. So I've been getting some of your emails out there about sending me your bonus question or bonus answers, your mindfulness tea time, and your homework. So don't forget, you can always email it to me too, especially if you don't use social media or you can't because you're traveling. And then on Sunday, you don't want to miss out. That's when we're giving away our book review prize. So that's the Amazon Echo Dot that we're giving away. For those of you who don't have a smart speaker yet, you can get one of these. If you do happen to already have a smart speaker, then we'll give you an Amazon gift card instead, and then you can use it on more books or whatever you want, more tea, whatever is out there that your heart desires. So tomorrow we're giving away the mindfulness drawing. Sunday, we're doing the book review drawing. So for those of you who have not written your book review on Amazon already, or you have written it, let me know what your book review looks like, so I make sure I give you credit for that. Those of you who have not bought the book yet, or you have ordered the book but it hasn't arrived yet, I can send you a digital copy of some more of the book's chapters, and then you can write a review on what you've read of some of the other chapters before you've received the actual physical book. I know some of you are in Canada and you ordered the book already, but you can also write a review before you got it, and I'll message some of you who ordered the physical copy of the book. So if you ordered the physical copy of the book already, let me know. I'll send you some of the digital chapters of it so you can look over it really quickly this weekend and get your book review in time for Sunday's drawing. And then on Monday, all of you who did your homework, you did 5 days of homework, or if you haven't done your homework yet, you have this weekend to catch up. So on Monday, I am doing a drawing for one of you to win a free class. So you can choose between the kombucha culture class. You could choose to get the matcha madness class, or you can do the essence of tea class, which is all on all the different tastings and professional evaluations of tea, and you get the scales and all the tea samples and 2 of our award-winning teas. So does that sound good for everyone? Wow, this was a crazy 5 days. Thank you so much for sticking around and doing this. If you're new and you just found about this challenge, definitely get your homework done this weekend. At least you could be entered to win a free class, and you could also win to enter a smart speaker or a gift certificate. And for those of you who stuck with me all week, we've got an amazing prize coming up tomorrow for the mindfulness challenge. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions at all, post them. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and also Anna will get back to you if you have any questions about traveling, or just let me know if you're interested in joining the tour and you have some hesitations and questions about the traveling. And I'll see you again tomorrow here at noon. Thank you.